Hey everybody, welcome to our conversation on our Corner Church Ethos. We're on week 7, and we're talking about this idea of better than yesterday.
Improving.
Improv.
I think it's how if you are doing improv.
Improving? Is that what you were trying to say?
No, we're still fighting about if improving is a real thing, because it's
Okay.
spelled improving.
Put in the comments how you say...
Yeah. If you're doing improv, are you improving? And how do you spell it? Is there an accent?
Are there
Or is
two
it
Vs?
improvising? What is it?
Goodness.
2 V's. Improving.
Could be two V's.
2 B's. That helps.
2 V's
Or not 2 B's. We
You know,
thought that
I
was funny.
I was going to make a nice segue about how we're talking about improving, and our podcast has been improving, but they've not.
Bottom.
Come on. Wow.
No, we're good.
We did just a moment ago a two-sided quiz, 2-era quiz about improvement. I do think that one thing that is, as I was putting in these things, I intentionally put in some things that may not be good to be better at,
Yeah.
like masking your emotions.
I
I
would
got
mind
better.
to be better at that, though.
We've been wanting that. I mean, it's so funny.
How can we help?
You've been trying to help, I promise.
And I think some can be good to improvement for some people, but not for others. Like compartmentalization.
I need that, man. I know that like compartmentalization might not be the best thing, but I need it.
Do you also need rationalization?
Probably, but I need to get to emotional regulation or like I need some compartmentalization. Otherwise, I'm already a little messy.
But do you think? I mean, this is the general question, and I think this is we're walking towards where we, as a body of Christ, are improving or growing. Like, I mean, do you think you have grown? Rich, yours looks like you haven't. You have so many 7s in the first one.
Correct.
Wow.
You were so good
Well,
at
you have
something?
7s in both.
I got forced into some of these things because of life circumstances.
What do you mean?
Like crisis response and
Hmm.
endurance and efficiency under pressure and everything. Working at camp does that.
Mhm.
So
But
it
but
was
also
a
your
pressure cooker.
family experiences too.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have lost a parent and have another parent who's had transplants,
Yeah, oh, for sure. There's a lot of that. So there were things that some of these I would say to a fault. That's the problem.
interesting.
That's the 7.
Yeah.
is
So your independence is
to a
also
fault.
a
Yes,
7?
it's true.
Yeah.
Ask my wife. I'm very bad at calendar.
I'm bad at communicating calendar.
Yes.
Hey,
That's what
No,
he
no,
meant.
I'm saying
That's
yes. I'm saying yes.
Mm,
So-
Wendy, did you have any 7s?
No,
Did you
I'm
have
in
any
the middle.
1s?
No, I never give myself 1s or 7s most of the time because I'm
you-
traveling.
You mix the good and bad, so of course there are 7s.
Yeah.
Because-
Yeah, right. I don't know if I grew that much. I feel like in
Interesting.
some
Did you
ways I
change?
got worse.
Maybe grew is not the word. Maybe
Yeah.
it's change.
Change.
Some
Yeah,
of mine went
changed.
down.
Yeah.
Well, I think, that points out that is a question. Growth is hard to quantify.
Mm-hmm.
And when we oversimplify, I think that can really miss some things. And so is change, whether you feel like it's growth or not, is it actually growth? What is that change?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like part of it is perspective.
That's true.
When I was struggling with the first side, January 2020 side, my two thoughts were, am I evaluating from 2026 Greg's perspective of 2020?
Yeah.
Or am I trying to put my mind in what 2020 Greg would have scored it? And I think those scores would actually be very
that's
different.
Looking back on January 2020, camp, ministry, team, all of that was in such an amazing spot. So it was like everyone was improving exponentially at that moment. March 2020, everything just... But it was like, in that moment, I'm like, oh, there was a lot of good stuff. So I was like, oh, it's easy to mark all these things because I remember back to that and going, oh, this was good, this was good, this was good. And, but now looking back on it, it's like, oh, I think not a ton of things changed, not because there wasn't 6 years of improvement, but because everything took a big dip and then has gotten back up.
Mhm.
That's the really interesting
Yeah.
for
Well,
me personally.
Yeah, and then, I mean, there's biblical and historical repeated narrative of in the midst of incredible hardship or challenge is when there's lots of cultural or individual growth. Is that actually true? I mean, there's been a lot of, for everybody, whether even removing all of the things of 2020 from the page, everybody has in the last 6 years moments of really, really deep hardship. Everybody does. And so is there truth that like valued growth comes in hardship, or is that just a
I think you don't see it till later. I mean, I was thinking about what Greg said about perspective, and I was also thinking life circumstances. 6 years ago, like, it's hard to remember anything 6 years ago.
Yeah.
My kids were little. Like, I was in a very different season of life.
And you were homeschooling.
There was a minute. Yeah, you're right. Well, in first grade, I homeschooled for a little bit in first grade. And then, and then was about to homeschool. And then everything that happened in 2020, 21, all of these things, like, I think life circumstances, like, it's really hard for me to, I don't know. Like, I just don't think you know until afterwards.
Yeah.
Because in the middle of it, it's not pretty.
Yeah.
Like, in the middle of the stressful moments, like, it doesn't, like, it does bring some good out in you, but also there's some, like, I mean, stress doesn't always bring out the best in us. You see who you like, what you need to work on. You're like, oh shoot.
Well, I think to one of my, I probably was a mentor, not a coach, but when I was Youth Guy Scott, 25 years ago, probably almost 30 years ago, I remember a guy that I close friends to and really respected, and 20 years older than me. He would say all the time is that, are you doing good as a youth pastor? Wait 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think that's true, is like, are you doing good as a parent? Wait 20 years. Are you doing good as a pastor or as a friend? Wait 20 years. Or when relationship gets difficult, like, did you handle that situation well? Wait 20 years. And how do you go from using that as an excuse to actually, like, is there, maybe that's not a good thing, but like, because I feel like sometimes that can be an excuse for poor growth of behavior as well.
It's just so hard to know. Like, I think there's so many things that you, in 20 years, you go, oh, I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah, I know.
You know? And then you're like, shoot, that was dumb.
Yeah, and as a parent, you go, well, we did the best with the resources we had, not dollar resources, like,
no,
as a 31-year-old or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. It's messy. Growth is messy and confusing, and I think it's so abstract that it's really hard to put it on paper. Like, it's just not, like, you might have grown in one area and completely fell apart in another area. Like, I don't think any of these things are like like, it doesn't seem like often you're unilaterally growing well in every area. Like, health might be, like, I might be really doing great at growing at being a mom, and then, like, looking at what I'm eating and it's really junky. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, to unilaterally grow in all areas feels pretty impossible.
Well, there was, in some of the writing that we all did together, there was quite a bit of conversation on the reframing, which I think is so fascinating too, is that underneath the reframing, there can be a self-help cultural thing, like, are you not perfect? You're a failure. Or if you haven't moved all your 2s to be a 5, you're a failure. And so, to like what you're saying, is that it is so complex to measure, and then to realize that probably healthy growth, every is such a powerful word, but probably all healthy growth is incremental, not explosive.
Yeah, I think effort or trying is much more valuable than proof. And so, like, I feel like a lot of times we go, well, it's not working, so I'm going to quit. Or this does work, or show me why it works. I'm not going to do it until I know for sure that it works, which are all ended up being just excuses. When the reality is what actually works is just trying. Like, just, I don't know, try. Just be doing something, whatever that is.
Yeah. So Jesus in Matthew 16, it's this blue and red pyramids that are down in the notes here. I think, so it is so easy, and the red one is to think about, like, as you climb towards success, the things that are so easy to see and measurable, my desire is the best. My desire should be what leads me. Comfort and easy should be like the guide, the map. What really matters is what kind of follows success, what falls into my lap, what is easy, what approaches. And so my way is the best way. And then at the end, say, I've reached the pinnacle of growth or change, and that success in life is in the here and now. Look what I've accumulated. Look what I've done. All these things. And Jesus' words in Matthew 16 are like complete flips of that. The foundation that if you want to follow Jesus, you can't keep putting yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you measure that? And how is that seen as successful? You choose God's way, even though it costs you your comfort, your time, your energy, your capacity. So, because that can be, again, am I growing? Am I successful? Is this worth it? You can't measure that in a moment. If you spend your life trying to protect yourself, stay comfortable, it'll cause you to miss what really matters. And again, like that, everything in culture just trained me to say, protect what's valuable to you, because then it'll make what really matters shine. And if you're willing to let go of your own agenda, Jesus says, then this will lead to true lasting meaning. And then at the pinnacle, the top, which is so impossible to measure, in the end, success is not the stuff you've accumulated. It's truly these things in relationship in the will and the right of God. And so I just feel like being pulled apart. Like the culture says success and growth is so measurable and tangible. You're doing so good. Like we want that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like in Matthew 16, like, listen, it's not going to be measurable. You'll look at yourself and others will look at you and go, what are you doing wrong? What you want, you're laying aside, and what you desire, you're putting down. And you're seeing success is not what you're accumulating or even what you're doing. It's your heart and relationship with Christ. And so like that will yank you to the extremes, one to the right and the left, is that how do you move from seeing a measurable success as growth, or in Jesus's eyes, how do you see dying to yourself, taking up your cross, these things that seem so intangible, as being what growth really is?
It seems like there's a couple different. There are things that we can say, I want to grow in this.
Yeah.
And there's some growth areas where we get pushed into it. There are a number of times when I'm like, circumstances are, you will grow in this area and you don't really have a choice. Then that whole thing of dying to yourself comes in. Are you resisting that kind of forced growth, or are you going, okay, this is uncomfortable, but I'm going to let it happen? One way is uncomfortable because you're pushing against it and you're going, no, and the growth is happening whether or not you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just have to go, okay, I'm gonna let go because this is happening and I'm going to grow in this area that I never wanted to even approach, and that willingness makes that process easier, because sometimes there are areas, from 2020 to 2026 where I grew whether or not I wanted to. And, it just made it harder in the areas I went, no. Finally I went, I just got to let go because it's happening, and embrace the process.
This is something that we bring up periodically. It's a part of our coffee shop ethos, church ethos, is that what needs to be done is so simple, because you just go everything. And what needs to be fixed, and how do I need to improve? And you can so quickly just go, well, I need to grow in everything. Mm-hmm. And true, but like in so many scenarios is that if you want the high end, specific, measurable, even healthy growth that's incremental and true, is that you have to go, all right, what is next? What is the next step? And and so we say, if it's for you as an individual, for us as a community, this is the seeing God at work all around us and recognizing it and responding. Is where is God inviting me to grow next? And if you just say, how could you know? But that's not growth may still happen because it happens to you, but how much better would it be is that as we're invited into this? Jesus doesn't say, just so you know, you don't have to worry about taking up the cross. I'm going to force you to. It says to take it up. And so to be able to know what is next, to be discerning of what is next is an incredible skill set to have and to give and to share with others.
I don't know. I think so.
Rich?
You got to wrap up?
The only thing that I was thinking about is the end of the Sermon on the Mount when it's talking about the building, the wise builder, foolish builder, the hear words and put them into practice. I think, Sky, you were talking about the being dragged into improving our growth. And I think that there are times when we just need to look and go, oh, time to put this into practice. And then there is foundation built based on that. And I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's like, don't just hear what's happening and see it and go, okay, I'm just going to lay here and be dragged into this. But if that's growth, like it's going to happen. But if we go, okay, this is happening, how do I walk with it? I think that's really good. Mm-hmm. And I lost it. It was right there. And then, well, that's fine. That's the thing. It's like leaning into it.
Well, can you just prompt in that is that, if you're forced kicking and screaming or in complete apathy, as opposed to choosing, that difference of what 20 years later is.
The amount of growth and everything that happens exponentially expands if you are walking with it instead of being dragged into it.
Yeah, that's good.
And that lines up with seeing where God is at work and being a part of it instead of just letting him do it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm walking with it.
It goes back to the value of trying.
Yep. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Thank you. Sometimes walking with it looks like you're terrible at it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's the beginning of everything. The beginning of everything is bad.
Oh, I know.
But it's all about trying.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.